In this video, I'm going to show you how to multiply your dating life by 20 times. And yes, I really do mean 20 times. 20 times might sound like an unreasonable amount, but I'm actually completely serious. It is 100% doable. How do I know it? Because I've done it myself, I've seen my students do it, and I've coached people to do it. This video is no fluff, no BS, just pure actionable steps that anyone can take if they want it badly enough. The average adult male under 30 in America sleeps with between 0 and 2 women per year. We're going to teach you how to 20x that. And by the way, I'm not just talking about quantity, we're also talking about quality. We're not going to be lowering our standards in this video. But first, let me tell you my own story. I started approaching women at age 18 in year 2000 as a virgin who had never had a kiss. Actually, I had one unintentional kiss. That's a weird story. But for all intents and purposes, I had zero experience and zero success with women coming into that. And I got obsessed. I started approaching every single day. I started reading the internet and scouring it for information. I got the best coaches. And eventually I ended up being a member of the Project Hollywood house you may have read about in the book The Game, famous in 2004 for having the best pickup artists in the world present in it. Since then, for the last 21 years, I've been a professional dating coach, and I've taught thousands of men how to have success with women, as well as obviously having crazy, wild success myself. So did I personally 20x my results? Well, considering I went from 0 to many hundreds, and I've also dated some of the most attractive and eligible women in the world, I would say that I have. My goal is to help you do something similar to that. Now, I'm going to present this video in two categories because they're both important. First is lifestyle changes you can make to multiply your dating success, and the second is game-related changes you can make. Let's start with lifestyle. Now, as I get into these lifestyle-related considerations, I do want to note that each one of these will improve your results by some percentage, but they are not individually completely mandatory. If you miss one of these lifestyle things, it's not the total end of the world. I suggest you do as many as you can, but if there's a strong reason in your life where you can't, don't be stupid. Okay? The first lifestyle change you can make to improve your dating life would be to move to a better city for dating. And now I know that sounds extreme, and this is not like something you have to do like immediately. You don't have to quit your job and immediately change your entire life. But if you do get an opportunity to do so, please do. But if you do have a choice, if you do have the opportunity to move somewhere, pick a city that is more conducive to meeting women. If you're coming out of college, pick a bigger city if possible. Pick a city where you like the demographic of women that are there. A big part of the advice I'm going to give in this video involves approaching and meeting a lot of women. If you live in a town of 100 people and there are 3 women to approach, it's going to be very hard to implement that. On the other hand, if you live in a city like New York or Chicago or LA or London, there are so many women you can meet that you can get a lot of practice, you can get a lot of experiences, and you can find the women who are right for you. So if possible, please move to a bigger, better city. Or at the very least, be willing to travel to one of those to practice. Now again, this is not something you have to immediately sell your house and pack up your things, but the next opportunity you have to move to a different job, move to a different school, relocate in some way, make this part of the consideration. For example, personally in my own adult life, I've lived in New York, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas primarily, all of which are amazing cities for meeting women and learning how to meet women. Next up, whatever city you're in, get good logistics. Now, what does that mean? You may not have heard that term before. Logistics means get a setup that makes it streamlined and easy to actually meet a girl and take the girl you meet back to your place to have sex with her, start a relationship with her. That usually means being near downtown and usually means being near the going out areas of your city. It can oftentimes also mean being near a good landmark, like if there's a good park you like to go meet girls at in the daytime. But being near the place where you're meeting women and having an easy transition back to your place will make things tremendously easier. Imagine, you meet a woman, you're hitting it off, and you live 50 yards away, versus you meet a woman, you hit it off, and you live 50 miles away. It's going to be a lot harder to get her back to your place. Now, 50 meters versus 50 miles is obviously a huge difference, but even smaller differences do matter a lot. The difference between being able to walk back to your place versus having to hail a taxi to get back there or get in your car and she has to leave her car somewhere starts to make a very big difference very, very quickly. Now, when I talk about having good logistics, there's levels to this. The baseline is what I just talked about, being relatively close. You can go further though. you can have cool stuff to do back at your place or have reasons for a girl to come back to your place. The extreme of good logistics would be to actually have a place where you can host parties and actually go out of your way to bring girls back there and have parties there, which is going to funnel obviously into your social life and your dating life. The next lifestyle thing you can do to attract more women into your life instantly is to actually dress significantly better. What I recommend is to get a few, maybe like 2 or 3 outfits. And I don't mean shirts or pants, I mean outfits. I want you to think like a stylish person here. We are not just getting individual clothing items, we're looking at the overall package. I want you to get 2 or 3 outfits of clothing that are a financial stretch for you. And it's not just about spending money, you want to do it right. Hire a stylist, find a very fashionable friend, go to the high-end clothing stores, try those on, and then try and find the same thing at slightly lower-end stores that are maybe more within your price range. But spend some time and effort looking as good as you possibly can. It does make a difference. And you don't need an entire wardrobe of these outfits. You just need enough to have one when you're going out meeting the girls and 1 or 2 for when you're going on first and second dates. A good tip for finding what is stylish is to look at other guys in your city, in your area, that are also your demographic who are having success and dress the way they are. Find the pattern how they're dressing and emulate that. The next lifestyle change you should make is to get the most out of your physical appearance. First step in this, get a good haircut. Think of your haircut as the clothing item you wear every single day. If clothing is important, your haircut is so much more important than that. Go to a stylist that you wouldn't normally go to. Go to someone expensive and good. Take some pictures in that are what you think you want, discuss it with them, and get a really, really good haircut at least one time. And you can even consider doing things like adding color. You can add texture. There's lots of things you can do. Take a picture of that haircut, and then you can get it reproduced cheaper if you have to in the future. If you have the budget, obviously just keep getting nice haircuts. Next up with your appearance, go to the gym. If you're overweight, that's going to hold you back. But even if you are not overweight, putting on muscle, having better posture, standing better, moving better, all of that is going to help you tremendously. There are lots of great fitness programs you can get, but as a man, it needs to include some form of heavy lifting or progressive overload for your muscles. You need to build some muscle, you need to cut the fat, you need to walk in an athletic way if at all possible. It will make a tremendous difference in your results. All right, the next one's going to be a little bit controversial, but if you want to be better with women, for a lot of guys, it will help if you get a little bit hornier. In order to get hornier, here are some practical physiological suggestions you can do. First is you can take things like maca and horny goat weed, which are natural and healthy. You can do nofap. I don't recommend that across the board for everybody, but if you do feel that you lack sex drive or you're not motivated to talk to women, definitely consider trying it and see if that gets you more motivated and gets you more horny. And if you are willing to go the medical route, maybe even something like a Cialis or something along the lines of that can help you to be more sexual, feel more sexual, and be able to actually perform better sexually at times. Another interesting lifestyle twist. A lot of guys find that their game, their ability to attract women, gets much better when they are traveling. And this could be for a variety of reasons. It could be that they feel more free, they feel more happy, or they feel there is less social consequence to what they do when they travel. If this is you, maybe to get your progress with women jump-started, go take a approaching women vacation. Go to a city like Vegas, Budapest, Barcelona, Ibiza, Greek islands, something like that, where you feel fun, you feel free, you feel happy, and you feel that you can approach girls without as much consequence. If you're able to approach girls in your home city, great, but if you find you have restrictions on it, travel might just help. And if you really want to go full on with lifestyle, there are bigger steps you can take. Now, I don't recommend this as step 1, and I don't recommend this for everyone, but I do want to let you know it's out there. Remember when we talked about logistics and I said you could have a place where you could throw parties? Well, you could go even a level beyond that and own or become a part owner or become a part of some kind of nightlife venue or nightclub. Or you could create some kind of a social circle. I'll give you an example. One of my coaches actually started a social circle party throwing app in Miami, and through that he has met and slept with and dated lots and lots of hot women. So there are these other lifestyle things you can do. Do those kind of things once you've gotten most of the other things in this video handled. So those are some lifestyle changes you can make to dramatically improve your dating. Now let's talk about game-related changes you can make. And by the way, when I talk about game-related, I mean changes in your behavior and your ability to attract women. The first, most important, and biggest thing you can do from a game perspective to attract and date more women is simply go out and talk to more women. Most men don't go out and talk to women at all. They sit behind their computers, they wait and hope that they get introduced to someone, they don't take action. If you want to meet more women, go literally meet more women. Walk up and start talking to women. A good steady amount of women to talk to if you want to get really good at game and get really good results fast is to go out 3 to 5 times a week and talk to 3 to 5 girls when you go out. And if you really want to 20x your results, I recommend you do a lot more than this, at least for periods of time. So if you want to go really hard, maybe up it to 10 approaches when you go out. Or maybe have a period where you go out every single day for a month straight. We call this a 30-day challenge, and it can be incredible for your growth as well as your results. If you really want to push your results, you can occasionally go until, meaning you basically just keep doing approaches until you do get a date or do take a girl home. But regardless, if you go absolutely all out with this, or if you just go with 3 approaches 3 times a week, it is absolutely essential that you do make those approaches. You're not going to get better if you don't talk to girls, and you're not going to meet girls if you literally don't go out and meet girls. The next game-related adjustment you can make to meet more women is to go to the right places for meeting women. This can mean going to bars and clubs with hotter women. It can mean going to bars and clubs where the music volume level is more conducive to you talking. It can mean going to bars and clubs where the women like your particular demographic more. It can also mean finding daytime venues, again, where you find the most attractive women, or finding daytime venues where the women are more approachable. For example, there may be 2 places in your city, one where there are a lot of hot girls, but they're walking fast and hard to approach, another where there are equally hot girls and they're mostly sitting down or standing. The place where they're sitting and standing is going to be much easier to approach and meet them. For example, one of the best places I ever found for approaching women was there was a coffee shop that was on the bottom floor of a building that had a premier level dance studio. And so a lot of the dancers would come in and out through that coffee shop, and that place had per capita more hot women than I've ever seen in one place. Now, I mentioned that going out is key. That is step 1. But just going out and doing reps is not enough. Because if you go out over and over again and do the same approach over and over, you're just going to build habits. You're not going to build skill, you'll just build habits. And worse yet, you may find yourself repeating the same shtick that only kind of works over and over and over again. You need to not only go out and approach women, you need to also think in between. So what I recommend is every single time you go out, you need to go over the events of going out. If you want to go full on with this, you can do what's called writing a field report, which is you write out the story of each of your approaches as best you remember it, what you did well, what you need to work on, what your personal experience was, and try and recap and learn from it that way. A shorter version than writing a field report, which I personally find more manageable, is just ask yourself the following 3 questions. 1, what were my best approaches and why? 2, what were my biggest challenges and why? And by the way, your biggest challenges often are in your best approaches, not your worst approaches. And then 3, what is my biggest takeaway from the session? And yes, I do mean one takeaway. That's the one thing you're going to focus on improving from that session. If you focus on improving 10 things, you're not really focusing on anything. This next tip may be a little controversial, but I will stand by it. If you're mainly focused on results and you really want to up the number of women you are meeting and sleeping with and dating, it's a very good idea when you're out at night to actually be very cognizant of the girl's situation. You want to screen for who is she with? Is it possible that she can come home with you tonight? Are her friends going to be judging her? How far away does she live? These types of things. Because it's very easy to spend hours and hours and hours talking to a girl where it's basically impossible for her to come home with you. And you could get a phone number in 10 or 15 minutes that's going to be equally as good to a phone number you get in 3 hours. And then the rest of that 3 hours, you could spend talking to other women. So you do want to screen and find out these things and then spend your time with girls that actually have a possibility of going home with you that night and starting a relationship right then and there. Now, obviously, you should be talking to the girls you're most interested in. You should be taking their phone numbers at least. You should be following up with them. But spending hours and hours and hours trying to take home some girl that literally can't come home with you is a huge waste of time. So screen and find that information out early in the interaction. Next, game-related advice. You don't have to do this alone. I highly recommend going out to events where you can meet wingmen. For example, in a lot of the cities where I run my boot camps, I also will have a free event where I will go out, give a talk, and I will connect people with local wingmen in their city who they can go out with. By the way, if you'd like to be notified for those events in your city, sign up at the link below. But having a partner you can go out with who can motivate you, push you, who you can learn from, and who can also help you win talking to women is going to be dramatically useful. A lot of girls go out in groups of 2, and when you talk to 2 girls by yourself, it's very hard to do more than get a phone number. But if you talk to 2 girls with you and a wingman, a lot of possibilities open up. You can actually take the girl home right then and there. So having a wingman can be good for motivation, for learning, for sticking with it. It can also be directly useful in an interaction with women. So remember, you do not have to do this alone. Having a good wingman is an incredibly valuable asset. Next up, in terms of game-related adjustments you can make, we're going to switch gears a little bit. Up to now, I've been talking about going out live in the real world and meeting women there, and I do think that's the most important place and the first place you should start. Now we're going to get into online dating, and I do think online dating should be a supplement to going out. It should not be the only thing you do. However, online dating is an incredibly powerful resource, so you should absolutely take advantage of it. So here are some action steps to maximize results with online dating. Number 1, make a profile on Tinder, Hinge, or Bumble if you don't already have one. Number 2, get the best possible photos you can. This can be professional photos, it can be AI-generated photos. Those are very good these days. Or if you have a friend who's great with photography, that's a decent place to start, but get the best photos you possibly can. You also need to spend some time writing your bio. I'm not going to go into exactly what is a good bio here because that would be beyond the scope of this video. I also have one video where I literally give you my bio, so you can go check that out in the description. Next step for online dating, set aside a certain amount of time every single day for messaging, setting dates, and swiping and making matches. I personally recommend if you're going hard, maybe half an hour to an hour a day to do swiping, messaging, matching. The reason that online dating can be huge for your results is that it is absolutely scalable. Once you have a profile that works and messaging that works, you can copy paste, and basically print dates on demand. So obviously you can meet a lot of women that way. Also, you can get a lot of dating practice even at a point in your development where you're not getting a lot of dates. So if you're starting out and you're getting a little frustrated, you're just getting phone numbers, you're not getting the greatest results, you're not going to get to practice your dating. But with online dating, you actually get a girl on a date and start working on that latter half of game right from the beginning. Additionally, when dealing with online dating apps, you are dealing with an algorithm that doesn't necessarily always show your profile to girls. So you can do things like having memberships, buying roses, things that guarantee that your profile will actually be put in front of girls as opposed to them never seeing. So once you have a profile that's working a little bit, you can supercharge it by paying a little bit of money. Now, if you want to really go crazy with online dating, you want to really max it out, and this is something I personally did many years ago, you can actually automate your matching and messaging. Specifically, what you could do is you could automate your matching and messaging and give someone a format for how you do it, and then have them let you pick it up at a certain point in the messaging. So for example, what I used to do was I would have people send my first messages to the girls who on the site were like the standout girls, the girls that were like acknowledged as generally the hottest, and then I would only start messaging them after the first message and first response. So I wouldn't be swiping through a bunch of girls. I wouldn't be figuring out first messages. I would only step into the process once the girl had already liked me and messaged me. You could even go further with this if you're really dedicated and do a copy-paste structure all the way to getting a phone number, and then just pick the interactions up there if you were so inclined. But once you have dating skill, I think that the best way probably is just to have someone get the matches, get the first message, and take it over from there yourself. When it comes to acquiring knowledge, I suggest you get absolutely obsessed. Watch every video on this channel, subscribe, be that guy that you get that notification and you like rush to watch the new video. Get nuts with it. That's the way I was. I couldn't wait to learn the next technique, see the next theory, try out the next thing in field. So get obsessed with the theory to the point where you're motivated, you can't wait to go try it out yourself, and where learning the theory inspires you to go take more action. Beyond that, one of the best things you can do is look at in-field footage. Get courses with in-field footage and try and replicate what I'm doing. In, for example, my courses like The System and Verbal Game Academy, I have hours and hours of me talking to girls live where you can see exactly how I do it and even steal my lines. Or in a course like Online Dating Academy, you can see exactly how I construct my profile, my photos, how I run my dates, how I do my messaging, and again, you can literally copy it. Or if you want someone to hold you by the hand, you can join Digital Black Belt and have my coaches literally go message by message with you over a period of weeks or months until you absolutely get it. Another way to get really intense coaching is my virtual coaching course, Jumpstart, where you literally have me and my coaches working alongside with you every step of the way. Oh, and then of course there's Bootcamp, a program I've been doing since 2004, where I'm literally at your side, talking to girls with you, watching your interactions live in person for a full weekend. And you can find all those courses at toddvdating.com. And as you become obsessed, as you absorb all this game material, in order to organize it, in order to get the most out of it, focus on three main things. Number 1, learn and focus on how to open. Number 2, learn and focus on how to flirt. And number 3, learn and focus on how to pull. Those are the 3 most essential skills for success in game. Most guys never learn any of these 3 skills, but the reality is if you want to get insane results with women, you need to learn all of them. If you're weak in any single one, it's going to dramatically hurt your results. If you can open, you can flirt, but you don't know how to take the girl home, you're going to miss tremendous opportunities. If you can't open, but you're charismatic afterwards, you're not going to approach enough girls to get the results you want. You need to have all of these 3 areas covered. It is absolutely essential. Now, as far as the specifics of how to learn these things, I'm not going to go into that right now because I have an entire channel and many courses about it, but just know that is the focus. So you might ask, is it possible to learn all this stuff on your own? And the answer is kind of maybe if you have a really, really long time. But why would you do that? Why do you want to wait possibly a decade or more to get good at this when the resources are already there? When someone else has already put in the time, let their work for you. The easiest way to get good at this is the way I did it, which is find the best coaches, find the best mentors, right? I went and got coaching. I went and literally lived with the people who at the time were the best in game, and I completely immersed myself in it. If you want to get crazy results, immersing yourself in it is the right way to go, and finding people who are better than you, who can teach you and lead you instead of having to figure out every little nuance yourself. And if you're absolutely adamant about not spending a penny on this, or if you're completely flat broke like I was when I started, here are the 3 pieces of advice. Number 1, watch literally every video on this channel. Number 2, go out like a fucking madman. And number 3, try as hard as you possibly can to find a wingman, ideally someone better than you who you can learn from and learn with. I mean, that is essentially what I did. Now let's zoom out and look at the big picture. You'll notice that all of the advice in this video is action-based. It's not theoretical. It's not sitting around on your ass and waiting for things to happen. If you want good things to come to you in your life, if you want crazy results, 20x results, you have to go out there and get it. You have to take action. The ultimate lesson here is you're going to get out what you put in. If you half-ass it, you're going to get half-ass results. If you want great results, you have to go all in. And here's the good news. Once you've done the work, once you've acquired the skill set, then you get to relax, sit back, and reap the rewards. Then it gets easier and easier and easier with each passing year to get the same results you got the previous year. But I want to point out, it's absolutely okay. It's even really good to be obsessive, at least for certain periods of time. Going super hard for a month, making game your only focus for a month or even like 3 months. If you're in school, taking a summer vacation, being like, this is my summer to fucking learn game, and like I'm going to get a PhD in game this summer. Getting obsessed like that is absolutely healthy and absolutely good, and it will pay you dividends for years and years and years to come. It's not possible to go absolutely full on every moment, every day for your entire life, but it absolutely is possible to do it for a month or a few months. And if you do that, then you get to relax, enjoy the skill set, and then you can get immersive again at another point once you've gotten other parts of your life handled. But if you really want to get good, you do have to have those periods of obsession. Trust me, I know. I made this shit my whole life. I don't recommend you do as much as I did for as long as I have, but I do recommend you going as hard as I did for certain short periods. And if you look back at the advice in this video, each individual piece is, number 1, usually not that hard, but also usually not that impressive. Getting a haircut is not going to suddenly be a night and day difference in your results, but it all adds percentages. Percentage here, percentage there. By the time you're done with it, you're at multiples, and that's how you, in the end, 20x your results. So that's it for the video. Go out, get obsessed, take a ton of action, and I'll see you on the next one.